Hi there. Welcome to the Money Daily YouTube channel with me, Afagza Sifuna. In this video, I want to discuss with you all what the possible outcomes or the ruling scenarios are gonna be in the case filed at the Supreme Court by Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, challenging those results that were announced by IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati. By the way, what do you think is gonna be the ruling? What do you think the Supreme Court is gonna say? Drop your comment down below in the comment section. And also, if you're new to this channel, remember to join the family by subscribing. Click that subscribe button. Having said that, let's look at the possible scenarios of the ruling by the Supreme Court. And most importantly, also try to analyze what the impact of whichever ruling is gonna be on the business community in the country. How are businesses going to fare post the ruling? And I'm going to be looking at this sector by sector just to share some ideas with you all. So the two possible outcomes of this entire hearing, which will be going on at the Supreme Court this week, is that, first of all, the Supreme Court is going to declare that declaration by Wafula Chebukati as null and void in case the arguments put forth by Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga actually indicates the process leading to that declaration was flawed. That is going to mean the country is going to go back to an election. And then the second scenario is possibly the Supreme Court throwing out all the arguments put forth by Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga in their entirety, meaning the declaration by IEBC that Honorable William Samoei Ruto is the President-elect of the Republic of Kenya is gonna be upheld. What that is going to mean is that Ruto will be sworn in as the President of Kenya within a week's time. Those are the two possible outcomes based on what the Supreme Court rules. I know some courts out there are, for example, wishing that, for example, Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga could be declared the President-elect instead of William Samoei Ruto, which unfortunately cannot and will not happen. That's so because, according to the law, the Supreme Court has no mandate to declare any person has won the election. Its declaration only ends at saying whether the process leading to the declaration or its declaration itself was actually according to the law. But it cannot declare anyone as a president-elect of the Republic of Kenya. And that's why a far-fetched thought with regards to possibly Raila Amolo Odinga being declared as president-elect instead of William Ruto will not possibly happen, because that is the mandate of the National Returning Officer, who is the IEBC chairman. And that's why we even see, for example, some faction of leaders from the Azimio movement going up in arms, wanting, for example, Wafula Chebukati to be out or a position as the chair of the IEBC, because according to them, quote unquote, they have lost trust in Wafula Chebukati. So even they're saying in case of a rerun, they're not really sure how Wafula Chebukati is gonna be the leader of the IEBC team and also be the one to declare the winner of the election, yet they have actually lost trust in the chair. But also on the other side, where things get quite complicated is that also, let's remember, the vice chair of IEBC, who is Madam Chisera, also we saw even her and a team of other three commissioners, the IEBC 4 commissioners, dissent and say they were not part of the results which were announced by Chebukati. But the catch is this: in case Chebukati is forced out of the IEBC, also in no way can the vice chair be the one to lead the electioneering process in the country. And that's so because the law is also very clear. The chairperson of the IEBC has to be a lawyer or an advocate in the Republic of Kenya. Given Madam Chisera, for example, her educational background, her background is in education, doesn't have the qualification of being a lawyer in the Republic of Kenya, automatically can't lead the electioneering process. You see how complicated it's getting, right? So let's examine what is going to be the impact of this ruling by the Supreme Court on businesses in the country. Scenario number one, whereby the country goes back to elections, right? Scenario number two, where that declaration that William Samoei Ruto is the President-elect of the Republic of Kenya is upheld. Let's look at scenario number 1. In case the Supreme Court says, for example, the entire process by the IEBC leading to that declaration is null and void, meaning it forces the country back to the election, guys, 3 things are going to happen to businesses. The first thing is that businesses are going to be on a law in the country. And that's all because we're going to still see people again hit the campaign rallies, okay? Even though it's going to be for a short duration of time, we're going to see different political factions hit the campaign rallies, campaigning for their presidential candidates, right? This is going to mean there are going to be some businesses which are going to be interfered with. Because we saw during the campaign period, Azimio, Kenya Kwanza, Roots Party, and whichever other party out there which was campaigning for whichever electoral seats out there was actually most of the times campaigning in urban centers of different towns in Kenya. Like, for example, they come to Nyeri, they shut down the entire of Nyeri CBD, right? They come to Muranga, they shut down the entire of Muranga town. So we saw this was having impact on businesses because you could find, for example, business open for 2 hours, and then from 10 a.m., businesses are closed for the better part of the day. In case there is a call for a rerun, most likely that is going to be a situation. It's going to be the situation. We're going to see businesses getting affected intermittently. And then second thing, relating to that also, and it's quite unfortunate, is that already as a country, we're having a challenge with regards to cash flow. You know, the national debt we're dealing with, okay? And the deficit in the monies to finance the national debt and also other development goals of the country is actually weighing heavily on the country. So in case there is a rerun or another election to be held, what it's going to mean is that already businesses in the country were strained because of this electioneering period. And now with the call for another electioneering period, what is going to mean is that that strain on businesses, which were hoping to recover actually post this entire madness which happened over the past 5-6 months or so, is going to continue to be, which actually is going to culminate in some of the business unfortunately closing. Because I'm very sure, in case even if you have conversation with businesses around where you live, you're going to realize a good number of businesses are actually strained big time. So this is going to mean we may end up getting some businesses out there closed. And then guys, the third scenario, in case we go back to the electioneering period, not really related to business per se, but also we're going to see some, again, our education system being affected a little bit. We've all seen whereby schools were affected during the electioneering period. Again, we might just see children out there staying at home, right? And now let's flip that particular script. What if the win by Dr. William Samoei Ruto is upheld, in that the declaration by the IEBC chair was legal? What we're going to see, guys, is, of course, we're going to see still some form of undecidedness in the business community, but hopefully within a week or two, things are going to get back on track. The only thing that we're not sure is with regards to which kind of sectors in the country are going to be given priority over the others, because each government has different priorities. For example, manufacturing, for example, service industry, you know, for example, education and so forth. So we're going to wait to see. But I think in case the win by Dr. William Samoei Ruto is upheld, most likely we're going to see some form of continuity in the country in just a few weeks. What do you think?